Welcome back to another episode of Chow and Company, your source of food, culture, and entertainment. Today's guest is one half of the husband and wife duo behind the creation of EatOkra, a directory-based app connecting consumers to Black-owned restaurants from across the nation. So I want everybody to give it up for Anthony Edwards. Welcome to the show, Anthony.
Stop. You don't have to.
Look, we'll keep it going. But no, thank you for being here today. Happy to have you here. And, as we get started in today's discussion. But, just as I alluded to, Anthony actually met his wife, Janique, and we got a whole app out of the ordeal. And not just any app, a whole app that we can use like pretty much every day, whether it's, to find local eateries in our own neighborhoods, or if we're like traveling and we just want to kind of like look ahead and see what's out there from the Black-owned restaurant front.
Yeah.
But I also heard that EatOkra isn't the only app that you two have in common. So is it true that you and Janique met on Tinder?
Very true. Yep. We swiped, we matched. She actually reached out to me. If she tells the story, she reached out. She wrote the first, message after you matched first. But yeah, Tinder back in 2014, 2015. So it was like the original kind of Tinder before what it is now.
Got you.
Oh.
So there we get the whole love story between you and Janique. But so tell me, how did that love story end up, with you two creating EatOkra, the app?
Yeah, I mean, we were, courting and dating and just visiting restaurants, throughout our journey, like while we were courting each other. And a couple years later, after we met Janique, she moved to Brooklyn, and I followed her there. And it was when we got into her apartment that we didn't have all the cooking utensils. It was also a new neighborhood for both of us. I was living at the time in Jackson Heights, Queens, and she was in the Bronx. So Brooklyn was new to both of us, and it was like, well, we're in Brooklyn. How do we learn about the community? How do we find like the latest, the spots, right? Like, how do we find community in a new neighborhood for us? Like, what's familiar? Black-owned restaurants. We want to support those restaurants anyways. Let's find them. And, that wasn't really an easy thing to do at the time. And, we still had Yelp at the time. We had Foursquare at the time, but tagging restaurants as Black-owned wasn't a thing then at that time. So she was like, why don't you build an app for you and I to find and support Black-owned businesses, and learn about the neighborhood while doing it and have fun. It's something we can do together. I should also say that I have a tech background.
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's talk about your computer science background, because not anybody can just craft an app. So yeah, that's a very important piece. So yeah, can you talk a little bit about how your professional backgrounds contributed to the development of the app?
Yeah, so as a kid, I was always like hacking away at whatever. At the time, like, as a kid, it was like Lego Mindstorm was like my jam, which was like a robotics set that had sensors and motors and things. And then, doing that, hacking away at computers, using Dreamweaver to build websites. I went to the Army after high school, and I did 6 years active duty Army. I was an aviation maintenance repairer where I worked on helicopters and did like, geeky stuff where I was like chasing wires through components and soldering and desoldering and getting electrocuted and all the things. After the Army, honorably discharged, I went to Fordham University and got my degree in computer science. So that's what brought me to the city. And then soon after that, after I graduated my CS degree, I went to Dev Boot Camp and did a summer intensive, 3-month intensive on just how to code, right? Theory is college, and then practical application came after that. And then shortly after, I got my first job at a company called Building Block, building construction management software, where I worked for a startup. So I got to see them get acquired, reacquire the company back, but I was able to be there from like the ground up. It's really see how to organize and build, run a company. So that was kind of like my way through entrepreneurship into entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So can you talk about the name Eat Okra and where it comes from?
Yeah, so okra is a nod to our heritage. Okra was a seed brought over during the slave trade from West Africa to and settled in the South. My family, my roots, I'm not from there, but my roots are from Louisiana, near Lake Charles, in a small city called Iota. My wife's family is from Sumter, South Carolina. So, okra is cooked in the stews and in the soups, and especially the gumbo, right? So we use it as okra is used to really combine ingredients, and that's what we're doing, combining people and communities through food.
Got you, got you. So when you talk about maybe the early stages of the development of Eat Okra, what were some of the challenges that you all faced?
So Eat Okra started out as a project, like literally just a project. Then it became like a passion project. It was like, wait a minute. Then it was, wait a minute, we can kind of make money on this. And then it was like, all right, let's incorporate. So back in 2015, the challenge was really just getting started. I was, really just getting into like coding. Well, I was maybe a couple of years into coding, so I had a decent idea, but I'd never built a mobile app before. So for me, it was about just learning how to build an app, from the ground up, building the server side, the website, and then also building a mobile app, which was like an entirely new structure and architecture to building a product. So I was, I read I think 2 books about coding on how to build a mobile app. I was in like chat rooms, I was YouTubing. So once I figured out which language I would use, I started, just literally it was the first thing I built and just kept going. Had to do a lot of research. There's plenty of times I wanted to quit because I'd run into a problem that would take me 10 days to figure out, 2 weeks to figure out. And it was just like thinking about those problems, I get an aha moment and power through it. But, it took us 4 years before we made any money building it. So, and I was spending 20, 30 hours a week on top of a full-time day job building it. So there's a lot of challenges, especially around coding in the beginning.
Yeah. And so I know you were able to, do your research and get past those technical solutions or, those technical hurdles. But when it came to, getting that initial batch of like restaurant owners, was there any pushback? Like, how did you get them to see the value in being a part of the app?
Yeah, we didn't go after the owners first. It's two sides to that building two networks, right? The owner is the hard network. It's like a chicken and the egg problem. So what we did was we just manually added all the restaurants and photos. So between my wife and I, we added about 3,600 restaurants in 4 years. And, that's 10 to 15 minutes a restaurant to add to the app. So you do the math. It's a lot of time just inputting data into the app on top of building a full product out. So that's, and then so the idea was once people open the app in New York, they would share it with their friends, they share it wherever, and then when people open the app, they see like, oh, I can scroll and scroll and scroll, more Black-owned business, more Black, and it feels like you're kind of inspired by all the Blackness and ownership that's happening in the app. And then the owners would just fall in play and fall into it, as people would visit these restaurants and tell them like, hey, I found you on EatOkra. You need to like get on or whatever, like actually sign up and claim your restaurant on EatOkra. But really that's how we went about it, was just really getting the people bought in first. Yeah. For me, it was like, hey, I built this app. We have 5,000 people in New York City looking for Black-owned restaurants. I think you should sign up. Now that I had that kind of like data point to like leverage why you want to be on the app. So it was really about that.
Yeah. And so, what's the process like for, a Black-owned restaurant to, even get on the app? Is it just as simple as they go and fill out the form or, via the app or your website and just go from there?
Yeah, it's pretty that simple. We have a button at the top that says get listed. And we ask you a few questions. If you're the owner, we ask you a couple more questions on top of that. And then you do it like an interview with us or, just do an onboarding session with us. And, that's really about it. You enter your data and off to the races.
Yeah. And if somebody wanted to recommend a fellow Black-owned business, how would that work too?
Same. At the bottom of the page, there's a get listed button. which will bring up a form. We ask you about 5 or 6 questions. And then on the mobile app as well, in the far right tab at the top, there's I think it's a green button that says get listed or recommend a business, business recommendation, something like that.
Yeah.
But super simple. We try to keep it as simple questions. We only ask you for the name, like address, city, state, and then we kind of do the rest.
Yeah, no, I can say as a user of the app, it is very intuitive, very easy to use. So kudos to you on that. But in terms of like functionality, how has the app grown since its inception to where it is today?
Yeah, in its inception, it was really, we weren't really gathering, like, there was no like user preferences or you needing to sign up. So that was something we kind of graduated to. Before it was just open the app, start scrolling, start looking around. But I really wanted to be like creating collections and saving things and get notified when, a new restaurant opened up around me, or I wanted to learn about events that are happening or any kind of articles that are celebrating restaurant wins. Those are all things we added later, a couple years later, actually. And we also kind of during COVID pivoted to make delivery more prominent within the platform. Restaurants not allowing, in certain cities, not allowing foot traffic inside their restaurants. So it became really about how do you support in a digital, super digital, all digital way. And so we really like emphasized highlighting the restaurant partners. So like the DoorDashes, the Uber Eats, the Grubhubs, Seamless, like making sure that any restaurant, any third-party delivery solution that they're tied to, you'd be able to like click it, open up your DoorDash delivery app and go straight into that restaurant without having to like click through and scroll and find and look up. We made it super seamless.
Yeah. And so you mentioned COVID, and of course we all know that came like with the protests, with the whole civil unrest, the murder of George Floyd. Can you talk about the impacts that you directly saw and what effects it had on, your app, your downloads, how people engage with you? How did that work out?
Yeah, the timing of George Floyd was super crucial, I think, to like where we're at now, because maybe about a year and a half prior, we had already had EatOkra out since 2016, but a year and a half prior, I had started to really rebuild the app from the ground up. So I did that over about a year and a half, and right before George Floyd, I actually had turned it on with the new features of being able to sign up and create an account and be able to bookmark and create collections. So literally 3 days after I turned that feature on, George Floyd happened, and then George Floyd happened, and then COVID happened. Well, COVID had already happened, but it was the intention was like, okay, how do we support Black-owned businesses? Social justice, social unrest, everything, just like the world was watching what it was mean to be Black, and people wanted to support and figure out how they can leverage what resources they have to support. And so somebody on Twitter or Twitter or Instagram created a post. Use EatOkra to support Black-owned businesses. I'm using it in New York. They've got, they did an amazing post, and it went viral. It went viral. It went over to another social media platform. It went viral there. And we got just something crazy. People with like $1 million, $2 million followers were creating like videos and DMing us. And it was just crazy. Just wanted to share what we were doing. And, we were super happy about it and overwhelmed at the same time, because we went from having about 40,000 people download the app at that time to 150,000, to 200,000 within a month. So I had to really look at what we had done. Some of the code was outdated, so I had to like clean that up. So some sleepless nights for the first couple of nights once we saw this like 2,000 in a day, 5,000, 10,000 new users, 20,000 new users a day. It just didn't stop. I was like, normally when this happens, like in a weekend, it's over, but it just didn't stop. Yeah. And so, we started getting on the phone calls with other bigger companies that saw and wanted to help. What happened? And so we talked with our partners now with Pepsi, and they put together a program called Pepsi Dig In, where they're looking to drive $100 million in sales to Black-owned restaurants. Uber Eats put together a program as well, where a few programs that we work with them on. Bud Light did a whole Thursday night shout out to Black-owned restaurants and trying to encourage people to support businesses in their community, as well as this one specific restaurant they're supporting with the actual commercial. Like, they did a full 30-second full out video commercial. It was just pretty crazy. So many companies are doing that work, still doing that work today, and that was really like the catalyst that allowed us to like get to where we are. Here we are in 2023. Working with the brands, and then just to peep the outpouring of support we've had from our community.
Yeah. And so through this whole process, what are some of the key things that you've learned about the food and beverage industry?
Pennies matter in this industry. Margins are tight. People and resources are hard to come by. Good help is hard to come by, between inflation and with COVID and, losing the workers are kind of shifting in what their demands are as a company, as of themselves and what they want to do. I learned that restaurants are resilient and are inventive, are creative on how they stay alive. We've always been like that as Black people. So just watching people like be inventive in their solutions to COVID and beyond is awesome. As one restaurant, we lost a lot of restaurants, but so many are springing up or even started during COVID, So we still believe we know we can do it. And I'm just inspired by some of the things I've heard from restaurateurs how they've been able to like survive.
Yeah. And certainly you all have played a large impact in that, because how many users or, download participants of the app do you currently have today?
Yeah, we're over 500,000, 500,000 app installs to date.
Wow.
And we're connecting over 18,000 Black-owned restaurants across the United States on the platform as well. We Apple App Store gave us an award for connection in 2021. 2021? Yeah, 2022. They gave us an award. They give out 15 of those awards a year. So that was pretty incredible to be, in that bucket of apps to get it, Actually, it's right here.
Oh, nice. Yep. Shout out to the awards. Congratulations on that. Let me ask, when you think about, again, the future of the food and beverage industry, how do you see EatOkra playing a role in, developing that future and having even more of an impact?
Yeah, I mean, our goal is to help people find community and culture through food. And also, but that's really what we're doing on the front end, but on the back end, where we're arming the restaurants up to have those resources they need, have that mentorship, have that coaching. A lot of restaurants are mom and pop. They've worked full-time jobs for their career and just became like amazing cooks, or they've always had good cooks in their family, but they've never had that business mindset. And so we're really helping them with our partnership, or with my partner, Jason Wallace, who's a culinary restaurant scientist, he goes by, but we're teaching people as well how to stay in this game for the long haul, how to shift your mentality from just being in the store to like managing the store and thinking about getting that next unit, so that's a real mindset shift, and we're really trying to like work on that as well with what we do.
Yeah, that's great. So if if somebody was interested as a Black restaurant owner, how would they tap into those resources that you provide?
Yeah, definitely sign up on EatOkra, and then just being part of our newsletter, monthly newsletter, or an occasional like additional ones we send, you would get kind of information on how to join. So as soon as you see something you read, you just reach out to us, and we'll connect you with the right folks.
Okay, got you. And then I also see on the app that there's currently an opportunity to invest. So, how can we as a Black community or really any community, how can we continue to invest in EatOkra's success? One, in the obvious way, invest financially, but what other ways can we support?
We just kicked off our WeFunder campaign, which means the community, you can invest, starting with $100 up to $100,000 if you wanted to. But it's a platform, it's SEC regulated, it's safe, it's simple. That's really the thing. It's simple, and it's a way for people to start getting into that world of investment also. So, $100, hopefully we give you a 10x return on that $100 or whatever it is you put in. That's our goal, is to get you 10x of that. So yeah, that started. We've already raised about 120,000 right now. And so I'm super excited about that. Our goal is to raise 1.2 million in our pre-seed round, and with the $10 million cap. But outside of dollars to us, get people to download the app, share our story, create content, tell your friends and family. If you did invest, share that you invested with your community and encourage them to do the same, or encourage them to do their research and their own diligence in our mission and what we've been doing, and check the facts, what we've done, and believe in our future, where we're going. So just, stay connected to us and share anything we've got going on. Just continually using the apps. Tell us how we're doing. Is there a bug? Let me know so I can get it fixed. Chances are somebody else has it too. As a developer, I really do care about performance and speed, and making sure that you do have enough restaurants in wherever city you're traveling to. So there's more ways to help. And if you're connected to, bigger brands or bigger people, we are looking for endorsements, celebrity endorsements. We're looking to partner with other brands that are interested in supporting Black-owned restaurants, or even just Black-owned businesses.
Got you. And so speaking of, you talked about feedback and, fixing potential bugs. So can you share any new updates or new features that might be coming along with the app?
Yeah, so a big one, we're beta testing in New York, which is Brooklyn specifically. We are allowing people to order food natively on the app for pickup or delivery. So that's a really big step, which is why we're raising the money. We've already really built it out technically. So right now we're just it's about user acquisition, user adoption for us, and sales. So we're using that money to just drive adoption, get people using the app. It does provide a savings to the restaurateur and to you, compared to the other third-party platforms. So we are a cheaper solution. Our team isn't as big, so we're able to keep our costs a little bit lower. But we are a for-profit business.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you, Anthony, for all of that information on EatOkra. So now it's time to get to know you a little bit better. Yes, you. And so now we're going to go into the next segment, and that is Kitchen Table Talk. And so what that is a really short segment where I ask you some of the most random questions, and I want you to answer as if we're having a casual conversation at the kitchen table.
Okay.
So you ready?
Think so. Okay.
Okay. You will. Don't worry. It won't hurt. Okay. The first one. Again, I always have to ask, spoil the culture. Anthony, in your grits, sugar or salt?
Woo! Okay. Sugar.
Yes, Anthony. Another one.
I'm a sugar person. Up until recently, it's up until I really met my wife, I've been all day sugar. She's a savory person, so I haven't touched sugar because once you have the gravy and you put the shrimp in it, growing up it was just like Quaker oats. You heat it up,
Yep.
put a little salt in it, and it was never enough. So
yeah. Now, I'll say that there is a time for simply savory, like the shrimp and grits, what you're talking about, I get it. But if it's just grits by themselves, I am team sugar. I'm here to build the alliance because I feel like we get a bad rap with sugar and the grits.
Yep.
So the fact that you just said that means we have another ally. So thank you. Thank you for that.
I'm on team sugar, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, next question. What are your top 3 Black-owned restaurants? And again, and I know you're based in New York, so it can be anywhere.
So I was in San Francisco, Oakland, actually, and it was Huff Barbecue. Awesome barbecue. They had the best, what do they call that? Pulled pork sandwich.
Pulled pork, yeah.
Crazy. What else? I do like Boulevard Bistro, shrimp and grits. The grits is crazy, just however you get it.
And where's that? Where's that located?
That's in Harlem.
Okay, got you.
Harlem. And then here in Brooklyn, Nostra and Social has some amazing food. It's like a Caribbean soul food fusion spot that my wife really really enjoy. And then I think one new one where we really enjoy. Well, there's 2 new ones. It's Sweet Science. It's not new to us. We've been going for a long time.
Yeah.
But Sweet Science is awesome. Like they just have like for Sunday brunch, it's awesome. The food is great. The DJ comes in. It's just an awesome vibe. It's like Biggie photos all over the place and just like really like cultural centric hip hop. I love that space too. And then like a not Boulevard Bistro, but Brooklyn Blend. Brooklyn Blend is also a new favorite, and that's just like a coffee shop, but they got some like really fresh juices and smoothies that I really enjoy. And I got something called the Pop Special that's just like crazy. I don't know what's in it. I know it's super healthy for me, so I go and get a smoothie here and there.
Yeah. Okay. So you definitely repping hard for New York. So I just wrote down what I think you gave me 5, and now 4 out of the 5 were based in New York. So I definitely got some ones to try on my next trip to New York. Okay. The next thing, what's the weirdest food combination that you love to eat?
Weirdest food combination that I love to eat.
I'll say, like for me, I'm like Tex-Mex, like salsa and eggs. I mean, I feel like, I don't think that's that weird, but some people look at me and be like, why are you doing that?
I like it. I think I said I was in the Army for a while. I didn't really learn about that until the Army. And when you get in the Army, the food be dumb bland, right? So that had to be my go-to. That was like an Army thing for me. And I still do it when I get access to salsa and I have eggs, but I don't need salt and pepper. I'm just like, all right, I can use the salsa instead. So that saves so many breakfasts for me in the Army. And that's so funny you mentioned that. But I don't know what else. Combination. I'm gonna think on hard.
Okay, no. You good. Again, you gave me the salsa and egg. So yet again, you're on my team, so I'm here for it. So that's good enough. Okay, next one. You are on a road trip with your family. What are your must-have snacks for the road trip?
I like Slim Jims.
Okay.
For road trips, like or like string cheese, fruit, oranges. I like tangerines. I'm like, I have a whole thing of tangerines in the thing. I'm just little simple, small ones. 3 pieces. Finish it real quick. My daughter loves those right now. If I'm driving, I'm drinking a Red Bull or something like that at night. Or a coffee, get that. Yeah, as far as food, my mom is crazy. She'll bring a whole on a road trip,
cooler.
Bringing the whole cooler. It's got sodas, it's got full meals, it's got pre-made sandwiches, it's got all of that. I'm pretty basic. I'm like, I just want to beeline there. Get to where I'm going on road trips.
Yeah, and that must be that active military in you, because you naming like fruits and proteins and things like that. So that's good.
I'm not a snacker. I've never been a junk food person, so I'm not eating chips and buying cookies and things like that. I call it Someone said something like once, like wasted calories. I'm like, oh, that's right, it's wasted calories. Why am I eating this? So ever since then, I really stopped. But I still go for the cupcakes and the cakes. Not a lot, but when I do go for it, I go hard a little bit.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, I'll say in a similar fashion, if you had to describe your personality as a type of food, what would it be and why?
That's personality as a type of food. I feel like I'm a good cheeseburger, but like I can have the different toppings that kind of like tee me off. You know what I mean? Like,
got you.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one.
So I see you might be. Let's see. To your personality, are you somebody who can adapt to any situation? Like you got the Anthony that automatically shows up and is present, but the toppings or the various factors or environments that you can easily adapt to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna make it a whole new analogy. I like that. Okay. And then last thing, we're gonna take it back to like your Tinder days. We're gonna be swiping. But look, I don't want no smoke with Janique.
I know you're
swiping on women. We swiping on food. So it's kind of like a little this or that. So I'm gonna just run down a few of them. All right. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Okay. Tacos or burritos?
Burritos.
Okay. Pizza or burgers?
Pizza.
Okay. French fries or onion rings?
French fries.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
Okay. And cookies or brownies?
Cookies. Chocolate chip.
Okay. Good. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay. Bacon or sausage?
Bacon.
Okay. We're going to head to the carry-out. We doing fried rice or we doing noodles?
Noodles.
Okay. Me, I would have cheated. I would have said half and half. But that's just me. And then last one, steak or seafood?
Steak.
Got it. Okay, well, see, we've played this game. Thank you, Anthony. I feel like I know you a little bit better just based on your food choices, how you eat. And how healthy you are, too, at that.
I don't know about that. I got too many carbs in my diet. I'm trying to cut it. I just have my moments where I'm like, all right, Anthony, you're doing a little too much in the carbs. It's time to chill out for a while.
Yeah, trust me, you are not alone in that. I eat plenty of carbs. But no, so now I just want to go ahead and start to close things out. And I always like to wrap things up with the food for thought segment. And this is just where I want you to provide some, tips, best practices to the viewers just based on your own personal experience. Or what would you leave the viewers with in terms of like information or as a takeaway from the interview?
I would say to always be in a spirit of receiving the knowledge, receiving the information, and then taking what you can of that and doing something productive with it. In my journey, it's just been like taking in and learning and being observant of people around me and things that they're doing. Even with my wife, just taking the information she's given me and being able to build something beautiful with it that we did together. Aww. So you never know where it's going to come from, what it's going to look like. But yeah, I think I would say that.
Okay, I like that. Thank you for that. Well, all right, we're going to start to go ahead and close things out. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in today, and I hope you've enjoyed this discussion. So be sure to follow EatOkra on all social media platforms. But Anthony, you can be more specific than that. So can you let them know all the places where they can follow you and stay up to date?
Yeah. So it's EatOkra, the app, on all your social media channels, www.eatokra.com, the App Store, Google Play. It's EatOkra as well. I'm Anthony Edwards Jr. So you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Twitter, Anthony Edwards J. Not Anthony Edwards, the basketball player, but I have a J at the end of mine. So people confuse the two, and I get a lot of trouble on Twitter here and there. But all jokes aside, just thank you and your audience for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. I hope people come away from this interview with something, and just either way they had some fun while watching it and listening, because you're awesome hosts, Marcus. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But most importantly, I'd say the main takeaway is, look, in addition to your food for thought, is download the app, and then certainly invest, and then maybe share the app, or share methods or ways to invest with your friends, family, loved ones, whomever.
Yep.
I think that sums it up nicely, right?
Absolutely. Got to download and got to invest.
Got you. And then lastly, as I just always say, if anyone out there knows any, Black entrepreneurs in the food and beverage industry who would love to be on Chow & Company, feel free just to message me, and we'll make sure that we set that up. I want to thank you again, Anthony, for joining the discussion with me today. And all right, until next time, ciao.
Yeah, thank you. Ciao.
Thank you.